today because I just know that I've got a fairly busy week at the beginning of the week, and I just don't want to be late. I don't want to be telling you I'm going to come on video and then I can't. But so you'll see that I haven't changed my shirt. It's not that I'm wearing the same shirt multiple days. I'm just recording 2 videos on the same day. All right, so yesterday I talked about that phrase that we've heard countless times, right? That God won't give you more than you're able to handle. And I told you yesterday, I don't believe that. It's not in the scripture. And, I believe the truth is He won't give you more than He can handle. It's not a question of what I can handle, because I need to get to the place, I said yesterday, where I recognize I can't handle it. All the time I try to handle it, then I'm struggling, and I'm feeling, that somehow or another life or God has put me in a tough spot. But the fact is, to say that He won't give us more than we can handle isn't reflected in life. I've got dear friends who are as godly people as you would ever want to know, and they're going through tough times. And you can say, well, they can handle it. Yeah, but they don't need to. The reality is people often face way more than they can handle. And perhaps, I don't quite know why I'm teaching on this particularly. It might just be that there's somebody out there that's feeling, I've had it, I can't handle anymore. Well, guess what? You don't have to. That saying is just not true, because in saying it, it elevates the importance we place on our ability, on our strength. And so the sooner we get to the place where we recognize that we don't have the ability to handle everything that life's bringing to us, then we can turn around and we can do what the scripture says, look up, right? Look up, your redemption draweth nigh. I told you yesterday, and I just thinking about it in this few minutes, I told you yesterday I hate asking for help. Somehow it erodes at my sense of being self-sufficient or whatever. That really, my own reliance on my own strength really hurts me in my daily life in many ways. And if I'm not careful, it's going to hurt me when troubles come. It can make us feel guilty that somehow or another we've let the Lord down, or that the troubles we're going through as a result of sin in our life, and now we feel guilt and our joy runs away from us. It's like, well, when I'm in that kind of situation, I must have done something wrong. Otherwise, the enemy wouldn't have ability to bring this into my life. What does James chapter 1, verses 2-4 say? It says, count it all joy, brothers, when you meet various trials of various kinds. Did you hear that? Count it joy, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfast have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So when it says the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, what is the testing of your faith? Is it the faith in yourself? If it is, we're all lost, right? Because we don't have the ability in ourselves to do that. If you turn to the book of 2 Corinthians, it's probably one of Paul's most, personal and emotional letters. He's being questioned, and he's going through his rationalization, if you want, because he's going through struggles and through stresses, and he started a church, and now the teachers are suggesting that if you're going through suffering, it's a sign of sin. But he comes back and says, no, going through suffering is not a sign of sin. It's life, and God has a purpose for it. Did Paul live in constant victory? 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 4, it says, but in all things approving ourselves as ministers of God, in much patience, in afflictions, in necessities, in distresses, in stripes, in imprisonments, in tumults, in labours, in watchings, and in fastings. Oh my goodness, he goes on for verses here about the trouble that he's had and all of the stuff that he goes through. But he says in the end, in verse 10, he says, as sorrowful, yet always rejoicing, as poor, yet making many rich, as having nothing, and yet possessing all things. So he's saying, look, I'm at the place where I've been through everything. I have nothing. But I know that my God is able to handle it. Sometimes I think Paul is like you and me. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, he says, for we would not, brethren, have you ignorant of our troubles, where we were pressed out of measure, above strength, insomuch we despaired even of life. Have you ever been there? I think I haven't been to the same place he's at, but I have been to the place where you think, I don't know how you're going to get out of this. This is just impossible. And then at that point, you turn around and what do? You cast your load upon him. So, the Christian journey is not a journey from dependence to independence, but really it's a journey from self-reliance to God-reliance. So God's purpose in allowing this in our lives is what? It's to get us to trust him. I think so much of what we go through in life, and I think whether it be sickness or financial or whatever, so much of it is designed to get us to trust in him. Psalm 121 verse 1, I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. So, guess what? I'm going to lift up mine eyes. I want you to lift up your eyes. Don't feel bad if you don't think you can handle it. You're not supposed to. Don't feel bad, and don't say, well, I know God can't give me more than I can handle, so I'm just going to tough it out. Just recognize that, Lord, I can't handle it. And recognize too that the afflictions that we're going through are temporary. 2 Corinthians 4, it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, it's but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So guess what? We go through this stuff. The Lord has a purpose in it. His purpose in it is to get us to trust him. So today, if you're going through tough times, I just pray that you'll just come to the place quickly where you say, Lord, I can't handle it, and I know I don't need to, because you're there right by the side of me. And Lord, I just pray for the folks that are watching today, if anybody is indeed going through a situation like this, I just pray for your grace, for your mercy to be with them. I pray for your peace. I pray that they can just relax and just know that you are there. You're there to catch them. You're there to carry their burdens. You're there, Lord, to be their burden lifter. So that's my prayer for you today. I'll be back tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.